Hello and welcome everyone to another video brought to you by Chess.com and FM Daniel Rensch. Today we are starting a new series. This is a series based around the concept of principle of two weaknesses. Now, what that means, it's actually sort of a grandmaster approach or an advanced idea in terms of how you should psychologically approach endgames with a small advantage. The point is that against tough defense, especially as you start to really get to grind out these very small advantages. As you can see here, we have a one pawn advantage for black. But as you start to get to the level where grinding out a small advantage is tough when you're facing master level and higher competition, it becomes really important that you have the right psychological approach, the right patience in your thinking, and just sort of the right goals in your mind about what you want to do to achieve victory in the position with the minimal amount of effort and least amount of risk. So we're going to start out. I'm going to make White's first move, then I'm going to give you some more concepts to think about. So obviously White's knight is attacked here by the bishop, and so White moved the knight to b3. Now at first sight, Black's advantages are pretty obvious. Obviously, there's the extra pawn on b4. He also has the bishop pair, which many of you may notice right away. Also, his pawn structure on the king side is a little bit better. The formation on the king side of the pawns is not obviously optimal for White. However, with all of that being said, refresh the board here. With all that being said, what exactly is Black's best plan to improve on his advantage here? I've got kind of a list that I use with my students, and what it is sort of a psychological approach and a little bit of a checklist they need to go through in their head. And it really makes a difference that this list I'm talking about gets ingrained in your thinking, especially as the advantages become smaller and smaller. This position here, you're going to notice, is a pretty easy win for Black, especially once you find the right concept. But as you get to positions with more difficulty, you'll notice that if you don't have the right approach and if you aren't being patient and have the right goals, then of course it's going to be much more difficult. So one of the first things I like to talk about is exchanges. That's a rule. What that is strong players are always aware. Sometimes they actually do have to take the time to say, okay, what exchanges help me here? But most of the time they're always aware of what exchanges are going to increase their advantage and what exchanges are going to decrease their advantage and their opportunities to win. So one of the first things you think about, I'm going to point out to you here, is that the reason why White moved the knight to b3 is because by controlling these squares here, he's actually set up more or less a wall, preventing Black's king from entering easily to the queen side. Now, an obvious way to try to get rid of that wall is to bring the bishop to a4 and make an exchange on b3, where obviously the dark squares will no longer be defended. However, what's the problem with that?
We hope you enjoyed this video demo from Chess.com. Subscribe today to finish this video and get unlimited access to our full video library. Your membership also includes access to Chess Mentor, the most advanced interactive training tool available anywhere. You'll also get full access to the Opening Explorer, Tactics Trainer, and much, much more. So sign up today and get serious about improving your game.